I loved Brain's Brain. This is one of two brain-focused segments in the first episode of the 19th season of Arthur. And this starts off with an Easter egg hunt. And the Brain very kindly puts on an Easter egg hunt for DW and her friends, the Tibbles and Bud. And I have to say, he had a very clever way of doing it educationally. Each of the eggs has the name of a famous scientist written on it, and this allows the episode to deliver some facts about scientists, nothing too heavy, but just a few things here and there. There are also some humour surrounding that. The one about the black hole really amused me a lot. And at the end of the egg hunt, one of the eggs has not been found. And the Brain cannot remember where he hid that last egg. And if you've ever played Hide the Something, where you hide multiple objects and somebody has to find them, even at 31 years old, I still find that really delightful. It is so easy to forget where one of them is. And from personal experience, I know how infuriating that is. And the Brain goes into his brain, a literal trip. And we, the viewer, get to see inside the Brain's brain. And it's so cleverly written. Part of me thinks maybe some of the information's a little bit too complex for the target audience. It starts to talk about the hippocampus and the temporal lobe, and you don't need to understand it to follow the narrative, but it does make me concerned that maybe younger viewers will kind of switch off from the episode if it gets a little bit too scientific. Maybe I'm not giving younger people enough credit, I don't know, but I personally enjoyed that a lot because there are a lot of bit different puns, and it also really shows just how incredibly complex and incredibly incredible the Brain, the head brain, not the character, actually is. And the whole thing with the tour guide bat, the Czech bat, I won't say what exactly I mean by that, but you'll know what I mean if you've seen it. I rather enjoyed it. I thought it was a really creative episode. Normally, I don't like it when we have a narrative within a narrative, so in this case it would be the scenes animated inside of the Brain. But because I'm a big fan of medical writing, of anything that promotes direct education, I kind of fell in love with it personally, even though I do stand by the fact that maybe it was a little bit too science heavy for the target audience. But again, maybe I'm just not giving them enough credit. Put it this way, when I was 8 years old, I didn't know what the hippocampus was. Would I have been confused by this episode? Maybe parts of it. But either way, I personally really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. It really spoke to me. It really appealed to me. I love the idea of doing an educational Easter egg hunt. That's such a fantastic idea. Ooh, and there's an interactive element to this as well. It starts off, the bit at the beginning before we get into the main narrative. It's with Arthur and Buster, and they ask you to remember something before the end of the episode, which I had completely forgotten about by the end of the episode. But I really like that as well. Definitely a really solid, all-round, brilliant episode.